Welcome back. Well, Natalie, we talk about it a lot. We absolutely love reading to our kiddos at home, and we know the importance of reading, but unfortunately, there are some schools in the Bay Area, right here in the Bay Area, that need better access to books, and not just hand-me-down books. We're talking about new books that kids can actually hold on to and read. And again, you talk about the foundation of education. Reading is a huge part of that.
That's right, and that's why our station has partnered with our parent company and this program called If You Give a Child a Book. Carly and I had some fun on our social networking with this, with our favorite books, but we wanted to dive in a little bit deeper and see, or at least talk with the principal of the elementary school that will be benefited here in the Bay Area from this childhood literacy fundraiser, Principal Ryan Moody from Oak Park Elementary. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies, for having me.
No, I just want to let you know how much we appreciate you and your school staff. We know that this has been an extra challenging year as we're all kind of looking at education a little bit closer these days. So we first want to thank you and your staff for all that you're doing. But let's talk about reading. And again, me and Natalie love that Scripps does this every year, where we really try to encourage better access for kids to get books. Talk about why that is so important.
Well, we could go on all day about the importance of reading, but quickly to understand, by the third grade, if students are below grade level, they could be up to 10 times less likely to graduate. And in today's world, not graduating high school just closes a lot of doors that in the past were not closed. So we try to catch them up as early as possible. I know a lot of people think the secondary schools, but to me, I like to believe that the magic happens in elementary school. And we provide those fundamental skills that children will need to not only be a great student, but also to be a great adult.
So let's talk about the difference that a donation can make to help, say, an individual child or make for your students in their entirety. What's that difference like?
Well, no matter how many resources we allot for different subjects, there's always going to be a limit. So donations are a way to give things directly to students without taking away from any other aspect of the school or the school district. We all work on budgets and we do as much as we can for the students, but donations go directly to students, and the more we get, the more we're allowed to give. We've tried to start a lot of initiatives here at Oak Park to get reading to be a part of the culture here. There was even instructional time dedicated last year to drop everything and read. We called it Dear Time, where the entire school, right down to the principal, the PE coaches, the art teacher, everybody was in classrooms reading with students. And that culture really took off. I like to brag, I saw kids bumping into poles last year while they were reading books. But no matter how great any school library can be, it still has a limits on it also. And due to our, in our region, our kids don't have access to a public library or bookstores in their area. So bringing new books through a donation like this or a drive allows us to put those shiny new books into kids' hands and really get them excited. I love the comment about, sometimes they're called hand-me-down books. A book is still a book, and it can take you anywhere in the universe, both realistic or imaginary, but it's nice to have that brand new book that it belongs to you. It's just like having a shiny new car. That child puts more value in it and treasures it, and hopefully it builds a love of reading that will last a lifetime.
I want to get your thoughts on how, because I have two elementary school age kids who, for the most part, they really do love reading. Any advice for parents and people watching? We know how critical it is to get kids excited about reading. There's some kids that just are not ready to do it or not as enthused to do it. Any advice? We know we have a lot of homeschool parents watching today too. What advice to get kids excited about reading? Anything that you've seen, there in your school?
Well, I think there's two main aspects. I have two daughters also, and believe it or not, nobody believes it, but I was a kindergarten teacher before I became an administrator. I love the little ones that build that love of reading, so I've got two answers. One parents don't want to hear, and one they do want to hear. The first one is, if you want to get your children excited about reading, they need to see you reading. Every parent, guardian, or caregiver is going to be a child's first teacher, and they're also going to be in that role for that child's entire life. If they see you reading, they're going to put value on reading. That's just the way the world works. They look up to us. It's a gift that we were given as parents. So if they see you reading, they're going to want to be more like you. Second of all, stop trying to pinhole children into reading what you think they need to be reading. Reading is reading. All studies show the number one way to improve reading is to read. So if you're not reading, you're not going to improve your ability to form the words, to read fluently, to build comprehension. If they're reading, leave them alone. Comic books are reading. Now, keep track of the appropriateness based off age or the material, of course. But reading is reading. And we may, a father may be reading a newspaper and next to him, an 8-year-old may be reading a comic book. Or if they're into Pokemon, there's a lot of words on a Pokemon card. And I don't know how many parents I had arguments with as a kindergarten teacher. If they want to read about Pokemon, you better learn every character in the universe. Because it's about
I believe it because The Rock is behind you, Ryan. I believe it. He's saying, yes, sir. Listen to him.
Yes.
And there's the information on your screen so that you can make a difference. Thank you so much for being with us, Ryan. We really do
appreciate it. Thank you for all you and your team are doing. We appreciate it.
Thank you for all from Oak Park for selecting us for this honor. Thank you. We will put it to good use.
All right. Sounds good. Let them read.
Let them read. I like that.
All right. Stay right there. We'll be right back.